The title says it all. Raving Fans, a revolutionary approach to customer service. Now, you're probably thinking I'm just trying to find an excuse for an easy review, and you're probably wondering why on earth I'm reviewing something as boring and tedious as a book about customer service, let alone I actually took the time to read a book about customer service. I must give you my full disclaimer. This was required reading at my job, so that at least explains the reason why I read this book. As for why I'm doing this review, well, for a book about customer service, the authors approach the subject in a fictitious style that never once becomes boring, which I found to be quite surprising. Don't believe me that a book like this could be this interesting? Just give me a chance. But first, some background, as, this book isn't exactly extremely well known in fictitious circles. Raving Fans was written by Ken Blanchard and Sheldon Bowles. Ken Blanchard is known for being a management expert who has written over 60 books, which have sold millions upon millions of copies. Raving Fans has sold 1 million copies all by itself. Most of Blanchard's books are co-authored, which brings me to the co-author of Raving Fans, Sheldon Bowles, whose only claim to fame seems to be being the president of a gas station franchise in Canada known for their extraordinary customer service. The only reason this is important is because the gas station franchise is featured in the book and makes you wonder if the other companies in the book are real as well. Even though Sheldon Bowles is not an insignificant person, I believe most people view this writing as a Ken Blanchard book, which is a bit of a shame to Sheldon. Raving Fans is written in a super easy to read, page by page chapter style, which makes it fantastic for understanding and outreach, but really makes it feel like a ripoff when you consider that Raving Fans' retail price is $24 for a book that takes about 2 to 3 hours to read. Wow, I am in the wrong writing business. I need to stop writing fiction and just start writing fanciful customer service books that are easy to read and full of information I already know. I don't mean to take anything away from the writers, but no wonder Ken Blanchard has written 60 books in his lifetime when they are this short and co-written. As for already knowing the information, I'm going to be very blunt, and it's probably going to come across as amateurish jealousy at their success, but it's just the truth. Raving Fans is a bit outdated. The first thing to realize is that this book was originally written in 1993. Taken in that context, I could really see how this book was revolutionary for its time, but now, 23 years later, when the ideas Raving Fans espouses are customer service 101 in many companies nowadays, it just doesn't feel so revolutionary. I'm not taking anything away from the original writing. I'm just judging the book from a 2016, 7 years in customer service, 26-year-old's viewpoint. And I've been taught 95% of everything in Raving Fans at each of the 4 different jobs that I have worked at during that time period. Let's talk about the interesting, fantastical parts of Raving Fans. Raving Fans' protagonist is the area manager. Yes, that is their character name. I am not making this up. Obviously, the authors are trying to make the reader feel that they are the area manager, so kudos to them, but a real name would have been nice. Anyways, about this area manager, he's newly hired by a company in a position that has recently cycled through 3 previous area managers, and he's afraid that it's only a matter of time before he is shown the door. His task given to him by the president of the company is to have total quality in customer service. It is in the area manager's anxiety that we are introduced to the star of the book, Charlie. You see, Charlie is a fairy godmother. Yes, Charlie is a man, but he's there to fill the quota in equal employment for fairy godmothery. Is that a word? Whatever. The point is, Charlie is the beginning and ultimate point of the unusual but amazingly used humor in Raving Fans. Charlie is a quasi-celestial being with the ability to bend time and space with an insatiable desire to play golf. But we're forgetting Charlie's most important facet. He is a customer service extraordinaire, and he is there to help our befuddled area manager. Once the area manager gets over his initial confusion and accepts that Charlie really is his fairy godmother, the two of them go on a venture to different businesses that have successfully implemented the philosophy of Raving Fans. The first stop is a department store, Varley's. It is there that the area manager is blown away by the customer service at Varley's. I would be too if the place does indeed exist. I tried finding if there was such a thing as Varley's department store, but the only thing I could find were reviews and notes on raving fans. Regardless, it is here that the area manager is given his first rule of customer service: decide what you want. Basically, you need a vision. That is terribly oversimplifying, but I'm not going to go too in-depth on a customer service book. The next stop is Sally's Market, basically an out-of-this-world supermarket. Again, I tried looking for a Sally's Market, and I did find one in Columbus, Ohio, but it looked smaller than your average McDonald's, so I'm pretty sure it's also not real. It is here at Sally's that we get my only real point of contention with the book. One example of raving fans service really shows the age of the book. There's a computer system that Sally's has that you can enter your grocery list that shows you the easiest way to pick up your items and your best buys. It sounds like an awesome system, but raving fans never addresses a growing concern in customer service. Some people don't care. They just want what they want right now. They don't want to take the time to punch something in to find the best deal. We live in the age of instant gratification, and oftentimes if something is not easy, a good chunk of the population will not even bother with it. It's honestly nothing too huge, but I'm surprised that a 20-year-old book that's still in print hasn't caught up with the times to address this concern. Millennials and post-millennials will continue to make a larger percentage of the buying population, and their buying habits will need to be considered. But so far, Raving Fans has only addressed this by saying essentially that you won't be able to please everyone. Well, we already know that. Charlie and the area manager then go to a manufacturing plant to get the second rule of customer service: discover what the customer wants. Simple enough, but obviously they go into greater detail than this. We are then given the world's best cab driver in Dennis as area manager goes to meet Charlie for the final rule of Raving Fans customer service. This time it's a gas station, and as opposed to all the other examples, this is in fact a 100% real-world company, and probably the reason Sheldon Bowles is the co-author of this book. The company is Domo Gasoline, known for their jump to the pump service and their red coveralls. The last rule of customer service is revealed on the area manager's semi-magical bracelet to be deliver +1. And with several more pages of extrapolation, we are given a complete understanding of customer service, and the area manager gets to live happily ever after, essentially. Who knew you could get a fairy tale ending in a customer service book? One note: while I do appreciate what the authors were trying to do by creating these apparently fictitious companies, with the obvious exception of Domo, is that it does cheapen the realism of putting raving fan service into practice. Because the fact of the matter is, raving fans are great premises set in an almost complete fictitious setting. It shows what some humor, a vivid imagination, a clear purpose, and one golf-loving fairy godmother can do to an uninteresting area of study such as customer service. Well-crafted fiction has the power to turn something perceived as boring into an enjoyable, humorous, and factual read. I never would have read this book had it not been for work, and I doubt most of you will unlikely read it as well, but if you ever happen to find yourself walking by it, pick it up for a few minutes of the quirkiest customer service book you have ever read. Thanks for putting up with my review of Raving Fans. I know that this was a rather unusual review, but this is a rather unusual book. I couldn't help but play out Fairly Odd Parents in my head as I wrote this review. Strange just seemed to be par for the course, as it were. Go ahead and let me know what you thought about this review in the comments. Yes, you can plead for me to never do something like this again. Thank you for your love and patience. This is Outcast Writer Reviews, signing off. Please like and subscribe, and remember, what we create matters, even if it is a story about a male customer service fairy godmother.